Good afternoon, everyone. Thought I'd do a quick video. Hope you all had a great New Year's. Market did not. Market actually looks like it ate at Chipotle last night and is having repercussions today. Ugly, ugly market today. Big gap down. Primary reason, Chinese market halted, dropped 7% yesterday. Pretty much the same old rigmarole that we heard a couple of months ago when the Chinese market sold off and then bounced all the way back. We also had some issues with Saudi Arabia and Iran. Again, not a surprise. It actually temporarily bounced oil a little bit, but there's just so much oil out there. The oil trade actually reversed course. But nice little bounce back on the market today. It was actually a really stable sell-off, for lack of a better word. Now, of course, the headlines are going to be all tonight about how this is the worst sell-off we've had in 15 years since 2001, blah, 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 blah. And, it's going to be doom and gloom. But for most of the day, it was a pretty stable market. Once they got that opening drop, we meandered back and forth 100 points for most of the session, and then a nice little bounce back into the close. A lot of strength out there. I mean, what sucks is we had a couple of nice movers in our portfolios today, and they would have been up a hell of a lot more if the market wasn't crapping itself out and scaring everyone off to the sidelines. We'll go into that in a little bit. But here's the Dow 15-minute chart. Steep sell-off. As you can see, every time we have a pretty steep sell-off, we get a big bounce back. So hopefully this is the beginning of a nice little move bounce back in the morning. It'll really depend on what happens in China tonight, but China's economy slowing, big whoop-de-doo, big surprise there. Nothing new really out of that story. Long weekend, people came back, they had an excuse to sell, and they sell, and it was just risk off again. Apple had a pretty big sell-off. We had a couple of shorts cover on Apple today. I mentioned earlier today what we saw back in late August, this candle. Apple actually had that candle early in the morning, and I posted that the last time this happened was on the Chinese dump, and then we had a big reversal over the next couple of days. So let's see. Apple, good sign seeing this one bounce back, but then again, it may be a case of large caps moving for a safe haven into Apple. We'll get a better idea in the next couple of days. I know a lot of guys were antsy and a little bit scared that the market was selling off today. What do I do with my positions? January is usually the month of small caps. Us seeing these large cap stocks sell off, who cares? This is going to be the year of small caps. Large caps are overdue for a beatdown. If the economies are slowing and dead all over the world and okay here in the U.S., the small caps should dominate. And 2015 small caps just snoozed and just slowly bled the entire year. So I'm very optimistic. We saw some very nice movement in some of our plays today. Look at a couple of other indices here before we get going. This is the microcap stock index. Got beat down today. Really, this one's following what's happening in the Dow transports. Any of these charts that we look at right now are going to look ugly just given the extent of the drop we saw today. There's no sugarcoating it. The indices look ugly, but, a couple of green days and they'll be back and ready to go. But one of our nice little plays that took off today actually was NXTD. CES begins on Wednesday, and you recall we jumped into this puppy 21 cents, picked up some shares a couple of days ago, waiting for CES. They're a presenter there. They're actually at an early media day tomorrow night, and they gave us a nice little press release this morning. Look at the volume. The volume just slowly snuck into this stock throughout the session. Broke that resistance, broke up through 30, and can you imagine where this stock would have been if the market wasn't crapping all over itself today? Very strong close. This has the classic January tax sell bounce play that we look for. Just sell off from October, November, December, curly bottom, and then away we go. So let's see what kind of happens or what action we get. This is acting like news is coming, more news. Let's keep our fingers crossed because the chart looks great for a continuation move on this one over the next few days. RSI trying to break 50 for the first time in a long time. The last time we saw a move like this in RSI was back in October when this stock went from 72 cents to $1.19 over the course of 4 days. It's a 50% move. Actually, that's a 60% move. Maybe we'll get a similar move on it this time here, and stochastics up through 50 as well. So this chart's ready to rock and roll. And sticking with that CES theme, Mivas every year. I think we've been playing Mevis into CES for the last 15, 16 years. Very nice setup on this one. There's a lot of chatter about auto companies being a big focus at CES this year. Mevis is involved in that. Breakout is the 200-day moving average at 304, and this one always gives us a nice move every CES. Potential move, we could be looking at 30, 40, 50 cents or even more if we get some nice news. You can see where the support level is on this chart and looking really, really good. UNXL, now I like this one. You see this candle we had here? We talked about it in the chat room today. We wanted to buy this dip today, but like a lot of stocks, a lot of small caps and micro cap stocks in this market, this was kind of a bullshit drop. They were using the uncertainty in this market to shake out stops and wide spreads on a lot of them just to shake out traders. This one went down as low as 45 cents today. You couldn't buy it 40 cents, 5 cents. I couldn't. Market maker could, robots could. They kept a 2-3 cent spread on it to make sure that if you did want to buy it, you had to buy it at 47, 48. And if you wanted to sell it, you had to sell it to them at 45. Nice strength on this one into the close. Remember, these guys put out a press release in November that they signed a big Japanese manufacturer. Didn't announce who that company was. And they've also said that they've got more deals coming. They're going to be holding partner meetings and customer meetings at CES. Companies love to drop press releases at CES. This is a January play, January popper play. You can see this classic tax selling, bottoming action like we saw on NXTD and any sort of press release, and this one's off to the races. Was looking really, really good this time last week, up to 60 cents, slowly bled down. Probably a washout bottom today. All the weekends out on that 2 cent spread. Stop loss dip. They'll be chasing this puppy over 60 cents. Potential move up there to the 50-day moving average at 82 cents. That's going to be the first target on a lot of these stocks. A lot of these stocks, if you're looking for ideas on how to look for your targets, moving averages I like to use are the 20-day exponential. That would be the green line you see on my charts, and the 50-day. 20 days up there at 58, 52, or 50 days up there at 82 cents. So we actually added some more shares to this one, given the strength that we're seeing on NXTD and Mevis, and this one looks really, really good. This is the time of the year where small caps and micro cap stocks rock. We really don't give a rat's ass what the large caps and what the indices doing, other than we don't want them to do what they did today. 400-point drop. Kind of scares everyone out of everything. 50-point drop, 100-point drop, whatever. We're into small cap season. CES plays should start to wake up over the next couple of days. You're going to see a lot of press releases out, a lot of hype out there. And, there's a couple of other stocks. I mean, look what Atos did today. Out of the blue. It was trading at 28, 29 cents. Last hour or so of the day, boom, 38, 39 cents. Again, another classic January pop chart. This is where the action is. Remember, a lot of guys, the last 6 months in small cap and micro cap land sucked balls. Excuse my French, but it just sucked. The only action that there was whatever piece of crap, low float, or garbage stock that was up 50, 75, 100%. That's all traders gravitated to. For the most part, 95% of small cap stocks were in this kind of down, slow, bleed action the entire year. It was not a year for small caps. The previous year was rocking. This year, I think we're going to go back where small caps are going to be the flavor du jour. So I like what I saw today. If you told me going and looking at my watch list that the market was down 400, I'd actually have to go check because my watch lists don't really reflect that. I'm not looking at the large cap stocks right now. We're looking at the stuff that does well this time of the year. So that's it for the video, guys. Get ready. I think we're going to see some nice action in our kinds of stocks for the next few days. Have an awesome evening and see you all in the chat room tomorrow. Bye.